Dharma greetings to you all. So last week on the dawn of Vassa full moon day, as the monastics entered the French retreat 2026. Therefore, I was thinking that we can share with you a piece of history to the extent that how we can avail ourselves of this holistic French retreat in the year of 2026. In fact, since it's a French retreat, there is a holistic meaning involved with retreat. Simply means withdrawing yourself from your day-to-day life in the sense of ordinary living, your habitual living in your life. However, when it comes to a retreat, it means that you make a kind of transformation in your life. You make a kind of dramatic change in your life. But in this context, it means to us that we should learn the Dhamma and follow the footsteps set by the Buddha and being closer to the awakening of the Dhamma. Learning, studying and practicing, and then being closer to the perfect understanding of the Dhamma. Well, saying that, how it connects to the French retreat, the Vassa, the Vassa, the observance of the French retreat. In accordance with the Buddhist monastic code, this is a somewhat disciplinary rule set by the Buddha even 2,600 years ago. It's not a small amount of time, but 2.5 millennia ago. Here we can see and learn, two essential things at least. But first, what is the background and what is the purpose of encoding the French retreat, especially for monastics, let's say disciples of the Buddha, the monks and nuns, or perhaps to some degree we can take it as for male and female disciples too. However, what is the real and actual purpose of observing a French retreat 2.5 millennia ago in ancient times of India? And also, we need to understand that how it connects to our life and if there is any benefit or any sort of spiritual advantage that we can take, and in a sense to what we can advance our life by body, speech and mind. So in the 6th century BCE, when it refers to the Indian civilization, as it is said in the monastic code of Pindar, there were kind of 3 seasons. Like here in the Britain, we have autumn, spring, winter, summer, and not similarly, but rather similarly, in India they had Hemanta, Ginhan, Vassa, according to the monastic disciplinary narratives. So we could say in English spring, summer, and winter. In the spring season or the monsoon season, all the religious groups who were spreading the word of peace and wisdom stopped their traveling and spread of the Dhamma, and then they tend to stay in their residence, practicing their own religion or belief or faith, whatever it is. However, in contrast, the disciples of the Buddha kept traveling all across the continent and India, traveling, stepping through the paddy fields, and so they didn't stop it. However, what happened next? All the lay people, the public community, criticized them. Why? In the monsoon period, there is the transformation of nature, the renewal of the environment. All the agricultural crops and new and small living creatures, they are coming out of the soil like frogs, snails, and beaches, and all sort of small species of beings. And even in the rainy season, the nature becomes flourishing, and it's kind of being reborn on earth. However, when the vast gatherings of monks and mass of people were traveling on the paddy field across the country unintentionally, they damage all the agricultural crops and the small living creatures. So it is kind of going against the natural transformation in the nature. So considering that, the Buddha advised the monks and disciples to stay in residence whilst doing your own study and practice during the instructions. So in doing so, I suppose that we can see two things as we started this talk before. The first is to the Buddha's more natural and humanistic response to the change and renewal of nature. We should respect it because the nature is shared not only by humans but also other beings too. There is a mutual connection, the togetherness, so interconnection between you and the nature. So as monks or the nuns and disciples, we should understand it and do our adaptation to nature. So this rain retreat simply also means that kind of skills in adaptation, the change of the nature. Even today, we can see there are ongoing debates and seminars, academic colloquiums with regards to finding solutions for growing climatic changes and traumatizing natural disasters in the world. But the real solution is already here. We need to adapt to the nature. We need to respect the changes and transformation of nature. How to do that? We also need to transform our lifestyles from one to another. We cannot stay in the same way as we live in winter as in summer. As in summer and in spring. In every season we keep changing, just like the nature. So this rain retreat dramatically remarks that sort of transformation in our life. That is the one sort of interpretation or idea that we can get from it. And the other side, you can also see not just staying in the residence during the rain retreat. There is a meaning that lies behind this disciplinary procedure. What's that? It is to intensify your practice, cleanse all defilements, and develop your compassion, concentration, and the way you think and understand the world as it is. In the sutta called Badhali, the Majjhima Nikaya, the middle and sense of the Buddha says nicely, Buddhihesa Badhali Ariyasa Vinyo Achyam Achyeto Diswa Yata Dhammam Patikaroti Ayati Sangram. If you first understand what you have done wrong, or all your pitfalls, all your guilty things that you have done out of irritation, hatred, ignorance, or animosity, then you need to confess it to yourself. Because there is no secret in nature. Though you think there is a secret, there is none such a life. The nature is watching you. The environment is watching you. So first and foremost, you need to confess what you have done wrong and bad. Then you can be reborn to yourself. You can rectify all your faults and wrongdoings, your bad and unwholesome things. In doing so, you can become a flourishing human being. So, just as a disciple of the Buddha, we should take this as an opportunity to learn and grow. So I would say Parents Retreat is not just a customary period of celebration, or it's not just a festive season as such. It is a moment, and it is a time period. It is a time of renewal. It is particularly a time for transformation of your life from bad to goodness, from darkness to light. That means study the Dhamma in depth, practice what you study, and put into practice, and then see what you see next. So, in all, we can see the Vasupanayaka, the observance of when sacred, has got such profound insight into our life. It is not just a monsoon period and staying residence, but rather it is the transformation of your life in the external world and in the internal world as well. If you do both together, you can become a perfect human being filled with great compassion and wisdom. So, in that way, you can cultivate your life with a greater skill of adaptation and deeper sort of understanding of the values, togetherness, and interconnectedness of your life with nature. Then all become one and one becomes all. Understanding this oneness, you can become a perfect human being on this planet. So saying that, I wish may this Wednesday faith be a time of renewal, be a time of study and practice the Dhamma towards the awakening of the church, which is Nibbana. May you all be well, happy, peaceful, and finally attain the supreme bliss of the birth with Nibbana.